What if everything you were taught about saving money was actually keeping you poor? Since childhood, we have all heard the same advice. Save your money, put it in the bank, do not spend too much, be careful with every dollar. And most people follow this advice their entire lives. They save and save and save. But at the end of 40 years of working, they still do not have enough. Meanwhile, rich people seem to play by completely different rules. They spend more, they borrow more, they take risks, and somehow they keep getting richer. This is not luck. This is not magic. Rich people simply think about money in a way that most people were never taught. And today, I am going to break it down for you in the simplest way possible. Let us start with what most people believe about saving money. From a very young age, we are told that the safest thing you can do with your money is save it. Put it in a bank account. Watch it grow. Do not touch it. This sounds smart. This sounds responsible. And for basic financial safety, it is. Having an emergency fund is important. Having some savings is important. But here is the problem nobody talks about. Your savings account is actually losing value every single year. Right now, most savings accounts pay you somewhere between 0.5 to 2% interest per year. That sounds like your money is growing, right? But inflation is running at 3 to 7% per year, depending on where you live. That means the prices of everything around you are going up faster than your savings are growing. Let me give you a simple example. If you put $1,000 in a savings account today and leave it for 10 years with 1% interest, you will have roughly $11,000. Sounds good. But in 10 years, the things that cost $1,000 today will cost around $13,000 to $15,000 because of inflation. So your $11,000 actually buys less than your original $1,000 could buy today. You saved for 10 years and ended up poorer. That is the hidden trap of saving money in a bank account. Your money is slowly melting like ice in the sun. You just cannot see it happening. Now let us look at how rich people think about this same situation. Rich people do not ask, how can I save more money? They ask, how can I make my money work for me? This is the single biggest difference in thinking. Most people work for money. They trade their time for a paycheck. They save what is left over, and they hope it will be enough someday. Rich people do the opposite. They take their money and put it into things that generate more money. They buy assets. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket without you actively working for it. This could be a rental property that pays you rent every month. This could be stocks that pay you dividends every quarter. This could be a business that runs without you being there every day. This could be gold or silver that holds its value while cash loses value. The rich do not let their money sit in a bank earning 1% while inflation eats it alive. They put their money to work so it grows faster than inflation. Here's another thing rich people understand that most people do not. There is a difference between being cheap and being strategic. Most people try to save money by cutting small expenses. They skip their morning coffee, they argue over small discounts, they spend hours looking for the cheapest option. And yes, being mindful of spending is important, but rich people focus on the big picture, not the small details. They do not care about saving $3 on coffee. They care about making an extra $3,000 from a smart investment. They focus on increasing their income and buying assets instead of obsessing over tiny savings. Think about it this way. You can spend your entire life trying to save an extra $200 a month by cutting expenses. Or you can spend that same energy learning how to invest or build something that makes you an extra $2,000 a month. Both take effort, but the results are completely different. Rich people choose to focus on growing their wealth, not just protecting their small pile of savings. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Rich people actually use debt. Most people are taught that debt is bad. And for consumer debt like credit cards and car loans, that is absolutely true. That kind of debt makes you poorer. But rich people use a different kind of debt. They use debt to buy assets that make them money. Here is how it works. Let us say you have $100,000. You could put it in a savings account and earn maybe $1,000 a year in interest, or you could use that $100,000 as a down payment on a $500,000 rental property. The bank loans you the rest. Now you have tenants paying rent every month. That rent covers your loan payment and gives you extra cash flow. Plus, the property itself is going up in value over time. So you use debt to control a $500,000 asset with only $100,000 of your own money. In a few years, that property might be worth $600,000. Your $100,000 investment just made you $100,000 in profit. Meanwhile, the person who kept $100,000 in a savings account earned maybe $5,000 in the same period. This is what rich people mean when they say make your money work for you. They use smart debt to multiply their wealth. This is not reckless. This is strategic. Now let me explain another concept that separates the rich from everyone else. Rich people think long term. Most people think about money in terms of this week or this month. Can I pay my bills? Can I afford this thing I want right now? Rich people think in terms of years and decades. They ask, where will this money be in 10 years if I put it here versus there? They delay gratification. They are willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term wealth. A regular person gets a bonus at work and buys a new phone or goes on vacation. A rich person gets a bonus and buys shares in a company or puts a down payment on a property. Both people had the same amount of money. But in 10 years, one person has a phone that is worthless and a vacation that is just a memory. The other person has an asset that has grown in value and is generating income. This is not about being boring or never enjoying life. Rich people enjoy life plenty, but they enjoy it with money that their assets generate. They buy luxuries with passive income, not with their salary. There is a huge difference. Let me share something else that most people get wrong about rich people. People think the rich are rich because they earn high salaries. Some do. But many millionaires and billionaires do not have traditional high-paying jobs. What they have is ownership. They own businesses, they own property, they own stocks, they own assets. An employee works 40 hours a week and gets paid once. A business owner builds a system that works 24 hours a day and gets paid even while sleeping. This does not mean everyone should quit their job and start a business tomorrow. That would be reckless. But it does mean you should start thinking about ownership. Even if you work a regular job, you can start owning assets on the side. You can buy stocks, you can invest in index funds, you can buy a small rental property, you can start a small online business on the side. The goal is to slowly build assets that generate income independent of your time, because time is limited. You only have 24 hours in a day, but assets can work for you around the clock. There is one more thing rich people understand deeply. It is the power of financial education. Most people spend 12 to 16 years in school and never take a single class about money. They learn history and science and math, but nobody teaches them how money actually works. Nobody teaches them about inflation. Nobody teaches them about investing. Nobody teaches them how taxes work. Nobody teaches them the difference between an asset and a liability. So they graduate and enter the real world financially illiterate. They earn money, but they do not know how to keep it or grow it. Rich people invest heavily in financial education. They read books about money. They study how markets work. They learn about taxes and how to legally minimize them. They surround themselves with financially smart people. They treat money as a skill that can be learned, not a mystery that only some people understand. And that is perhaps the biggest difference of all. Rich people believe they can learn how money works. Most people believe money is complicated and just hope for the best. So let me bring this all together. The way most people think about saving money is not wrong. It is just incomplete. Saving is the first step. Having an emergency fund is essential. Being responsible with your spending matters. But if you stop there, you will struggle financially your entire life because inflation will slowly eat your savings. The next step is to make your money work for you. Start learning about investing. Start learning about assets. Start small if you have to. Even $50 or $100 a month invested consistently can grow into something significant over 10 or 20 years because of compound growth. You do not need to be rich to start thinking like the rich. You just need to change the way you see money. Money is not just something you earn and save. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it is only as powerful as the person using it. Learn how to use it wisely, and your financial life will change forever. If this video opened your eyes to something new, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I make complex money topics simple so you can take control of your financial future. Tell me in the comments, what is the first asset you want to invest in? I read every single comment, and I will see you in the next video.